Hey mathematicians, today we are going to learn a new topic. However, I feel like it's going to be helpful just to take a few minutes to review something you already know how to do because it's very closely related to our new topic today. And the topic that I'm going to review is multiplying binomials. And the example we're going to use is this one right here. So just a reminder of why you know this is a multiply binomials problem. As you'll probably, I hope anyway, recall from previous lessons, that prefix bi, how many wheels are there on a bicycle? There's two, right? Binomials mean that each of these have two terms inside. So we've got the x plus 2, that has two terms, which makes it a binomial. We have the x plus 3, so that is a binomial because it has two terms. And the reason we know that we're multiplying them together is because in between the parentheses, there's no adding or subtracting. So those two parentheses just sitting next to each other imply that we're multiplying. So the two methods that we used previously in class are method number 1, which is going to be distributive property, and method number 2, which is box, also known as the area model. So I'm going to focus on the distributive property first. So I'm going to rewrite the problem here. And as you will recall, distributive property means that we are going to take that x and we are going to distribute it in just a moment to the x plus 3. And then we are also going to distribute the 2 to both of the terms inside of that second binomial as well. And distributive property means multiply, right? So the first thing when I distribute the x to the x, that means that I'm multiplying x times x. How many x's am I multiplying together? I am multiplying x to the second power. If I want to simplify that, I'm multiplying 2 x's, which is going to give me that x to the second power. Then I still need to distribute the x to the second term in the parentheses. So x times 3 can be written as 3x. It's a positive x because there's no negative in front of there, being multiplied by a positive 3. So positive times a positive means that's going to be a plus 3x. Then I need to distribute, now that I've distributed the x to the terms in the second binomial, now I need to multiply the 2 times the terms inside that second binomial. So 2 times x is just going to give me 2x. Again, I have a positive times a positive, so that's going to be a plus 2x. And I need to distribute the 2 to the 3. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. Positive times a positive gives me a plus 6. So utilizing the distributive property was one way we could have done the first part of multiplying those. Box method, as you'll recall, we're just going to make ourselves a little box. And we're going to use the first binomial, so the x plus 2. We're going to use that to be the length of the box. And then the x plus 3 is going to be the width of the box. And we're going to use those 4 individual terms to break up the box into 4 little smaller boxes, 4 little rectangles. And the reason this is called area model is because you use the idea of length times width, because that's how you find the area of a rectangle, right? So to find the area of the little top left box here, we're going to multiply the length, which in this case is x, times the width, which is x, and x times x gives us x to the second power. In order to find the area of this little piece of the box, we're going to do the length, which is x, and we're going to multiply it by the width of the box, which is 3, which is already given to us. So length times width, x times 3 is the same thing as 3x. And then the left side of the box, or bottom, I should say bottom left-hand side of the box. The length is going to be 2. And the width of the box, if the top up here is x, since it's all a rectangle, that means the width down here is going to be x as well. So length times width gives us 2x. And last but not least, the length of this box, if this side is 2, that side has to be 2. So it's going to be 2. The width, if this is 3, then this has to be 3. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. So regardless of whether I do the distributive property or the box method, I'm going to end up with the same 4 terms when I get done. Since I multiplied a binomial, which has 2 terms in it, and I multiplied that by another binomial, which has 2 terms in it, I ended up with a product that has 4 terms together. So I've done all the multiplying. And then the last step, depending on which strategy you choose to do, it might look a little bit different, but the end result is still going to be the same. Now that we've done the multiplication, we also have to combine any like terms that we might have. So that would be our second step after we have done the multiplication. And so remember, that means you can only put things together that have the same variable and the same exponent. That's what we mean by like terms. So if I look up at my distributive property method, that means that I would combine the 3x and the 2x. And in the box method, I would also combine a 3x and a 2x. So regardless of which method I choose, 3x plus 2x is going to give me 5x. And so my final simplified version, after I get done, so I still have x to the second, which can't be combined with anything. So plus the 5x that I got from combining those like terms, plus 6. So either way that I chose to multiply those 2 binomials together, I ended up with 4 terms by the time I got finished, and then I just needed to combine the 2 like terms so that I ended up with a final product here, which is the 2 middle terms combined, and then the x squared and the 6x on either side. So I ended up with something that we call a trinomial, which is going to be really important in the next step. Why is this called a trinomial? Because I have 1, 2, 3 terms in it. How many wheels does a tricycle have? It has 3, right? So this is something that we call a trinomial.